Here's something uplifting that will inspire you? Good, because today I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. You can always stream and watch us live on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll never miss a show. Or you can download the app in the App Store or Google Play Store. And you can also listen to the rebroadcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. 833-212-1017 is the number. There seems to be a theme throughout the show today about technology and safety and liberty and security. You know, I remember a time that when we were living, it was the Democrats that were for the working man and the working class and talked about liberty and democracy and all that. And now Democrats have gone to the rich guy and gal. And the Republican Party has now gone after the little man, the little woman. Be that as it may, all of it's going to come to a head. All of it's going to come to a head. All of it's going to start to rear its ugly head. I want to give you something to think about today. It's not a comfortable question. It's not an easy question, but I think the way today is going, it's necessary. If you had to choose, I think I've asked this before, liberty versus privacy, which one would you keep? Liberty or privacy? Because whether people want to admit it or not, societies often face that choice. Technology is causing us to make the choice today. And today, I believe with all the stuff that's going on in the world and Iran and Israel and Republican and Democrat, we are quietly drifting into a world where we think we can have both, even with all the technology. Now, history, for those of you who are younger, says otherwise. Privacy sounds noble. Privacy in your house, privacy in your communications, privacy in your thoughts. The U.S. Supreme Court said, even though it's not constitutional, it's not in the Constitution, that there's an inherent right to privacy. Privacy of your thoughts, well, unless you're typing everything you think on social media. But nobody wants the government reading their messages. Nobody wants corporations tracking every move we make, and rightfully so. So what can privacy do for us? Privacy protects your dignity. Privacy protects your personal space. It protects the idea that some parts of your life only belong to you. The stuff you do, the stuff you say. But here's something that's uncomfortable. You already gave it away to social media for free. I heard that. And so privacy has never really existed without liberty protecting it. Ever. None. Zero. Because I think people need to understand that while privacy is a tenet of the American way of life, it's not the foundation. Liberty is. Liberty means something completely different, but it's also very simple. The right to live without constant control from authority. That means you have a right to speak. Somebody said, who are you to tell somebody what they can say? Well, you have freedom to speak, freedom to move, freedom to assemble, freedom to protest. And when liberty exists, privacy naturally grows around it because you have the liberty to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. But then look at the authoritarian government we're starting to see formed here in America. They don't just want to watch you. They want to control you. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to be talking about technology, the things that we're giving up, the places we go, like 3rd Street Market, where you can't use cash. Why? Why not? Privacy doesn't survive those systems. They want to control your movement. Then they'll control the access to the information. That's what they're doing in China, in Russia. You don't get on the internet. You get on the internet and see the web pages they want you to see. Privacy will not survive any of these systems, not for long. Privacy demands and requires freedom. Now, here's where I'm going. Society today is offering people a deal, and it sounds like this. Give up a little liberty, and we'll protect your privacy and protection. You want to be safe? We might have some sleeper cells here. Well, we need to peek, but we're not going to peek at you. But we need to peek a little bit. And every time that deal is made, something strange happens. Liberty shrinks. And with that, privacy shrinks too. And government control is actually expanding. The Milwaukee Police Department, and just, I think today, they had a story. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department both scrapped facial recognition technology. Why? Because the public said, we don't want it. Do they know something we don't? Think about it. What is it? This is the opposite argument. What are you afraid of with facial recognition? Well, it doesn't read black people well. The darker the skin, the less detail it gives you, and you might get a false reading. Other people argue, well, you shouldn't have to track me. Well, your phone tracks you, your car tracks you, your apps track you, your purchases track you. When you get insurance, your insurance company says, hey, put this little gadget in your car, and we'll give you a 15% discount because they're collecting data that helps them make a decision as to whether or not to give you insurance. And if you drive too fast or hit your brakes too hard, they'll hold it against you. This isn't because liberty has increased. We actually do it because it's convenient. People have actually traded freedom for comfort. Now, many people accept that trade because they're promised something else. Because they believe if you have more surveillance, you got more people watching, you got facial recognition, that equals safety. More control equals more protection. That's the argument. But history tells us something different. When the government gains the power to monitor everything, that power rarely goes away. It actually grows, it expands, and eventually it gets used for purposes that wasn't quite originally intended. FISA, it's for foreign intelligence surveillance, yeah. But we got 9/11 now, so we're going to kind of watch American citizens too, because we can't tell one from the other, the good from the bad. And a lot of American citizens have gone over and been, taken over, and now they want to be, they want to kill for Allah and all that. So we got to watch everybody. It'll go from beyond tracking who committed a crime to tracking who might commit a crime. And if you think I'm lying, Benjamin Franklin in the 1700s warned us about this. He essentially said those who give up liberty for temporary safety deserve neither. That ain't just poetry. It's a warning. So let's return to the question. If you had to choose liberty or privacy, which one has to survive? I say liberty. Why do I say that? Because liberty gives me the power to demand privacy. And without liberty, privacy becomes whatever the authorities allow. And they rarely limit themselves voluntarily. You could tell by this administration. Liberty is messy. Liberty is noisy. Liberty is always in court. Liberty allows other people to say things that you don't like. Liberty allows disagreement. But liberty actually keeps power in check. And so once liberty disappears, privacy then becomes a privilege, not a right. And we know what happens and who has all the privilege in America today. So now we get to probably something that's a little more uncomfortable. Americans today already live with no privacy. Your data is collected, your movement is recorded, your phone sends you, links and, hey, do you want to go here? Or when you Google, it tells you where your location is. Your digital behavior is tracked constantly. But the real danger is not the loss of privacy. The real danger is being comfortable when you lose your liberty. Because I'm gonna tell you, once liberty is normalized away, you don't really have liberty because we gotta track people. We gotta make sure, criminals don't get us. It's impossible to reclaim it. So if the moment comes where we have to choose liberty or privacy, I say choose liberty, protect liberty. And if you have to, fight for liberty. Because liberty gives us, especially Black Americans, the power to reclaim everything else. Privacy, reclaim your rights, reclaim your dignity, reclaim your voice. But without liberty, none of these survive long. And sometimes the simple truth is simple because everything else depends on it. Freedom first.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
Been listening to you guys for probably a month. It's some change now, and this is one of my favorite radio shows. And I'm 24, so I used to think talk shows was like an old head thing, and y'all got me hooked.
Welcome to Truth Nation.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Before the break, freedom first. Liberty versus freedom. Or is it liberty versus privacy? Or is it liberty versus... I always choose liberty. Because when I got the liberty to fight for something, I can always do it. And so we've been talking about that. We started out the show with that. But I want to help you understand where we are in America. They're trying to pass the SAVE Act. That's a whole other issue. But they're trying to tack some things onto it. right? So 2 things you need to be aware of, 2 laws that are going to affect your life as we come into this age of AI and technology. And somewhere we're going to get around to the AI companies that are helping the federal government do their job. And anyway, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA. It's a U.S. law enacted in 1978 to establish legal procedures for the government to conduct surveillance and collect intelligence on foreign powers, got this, and individuals suspected of acting on their behalf inside the United States. The law created the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, or FISA court, a special secret court that reviews and approves government requests for electronic surveillance, wiretaps, and searches related to national security investigations. So all I have to say is, hey, Dr. Ken is a national security risk. And once I tack that on it, I can go to a FISA court and say, I want to go search his house. And they get to do it. Now, normally when you go search something, a search warrant has to be listed. So you can go to the DA's office, you can go somewhere and see they gave a search warrant for 123 Mockingbird Lane, which is where the Munsters lived. And you're able to go there and search, and you can see it. And when it comes back, you get to read it. With a FISA court, that's not necessarily so. Why? Because FISA was designed to balance national security with needs of civil liberties by requiring judicial oversight for intelligence gathering, though critics argue that the secret proceedings and expanded authorities, especially after the amendments made after September 11th, 2001, have increased government surveillance power so that now they can just roll in and check you out. Your thoughts on it, 833-212-1017. Liberty or privacy? So when the court gets the subpoena is secret. I'm sorry, if they get a warrant, the warrant is secret. They can break in your house, break in your business, search, leave, and they have X amount of days to take the warrant back to the FISA court to file it. And then they have so many days after that where they don't have to tell you. And I see we got some calls. 833-212-1017 is the number. You can hit us by calling. You can do the talk and text, or you can hit us on the YouTube chat. And so now we have the Patriot Act, passed by Congress shortly after 9/11, strengthened the government's ability to prevent and investigate terrorism. The law expands the powers of intelligence and law enforcement agencies to conduct surveillance, share information between agencies. Now, before 9/11, everybody had a little piece of it intelligence-wise, but because they couldn't share it, nobody knew. They dropped the ball. Share intelligence between agencies, track financial transactions, monitor communications suspected of being connected to terrorism or national security threats. Now, supporters argue the law gave authorities the tools needed to stop future attacks. And I think that's what they're going to use with all this Iran stuff going on, that they're going to start tracking people and start looking at people and start following people and start surveilling people. And one of the reasons they're going to be able to do it is because Iran may be here secretly. Critics say some of the provisions weaken civil liberties and privacy protections by allowing broader government surveillance with fewer traditional judicial safeguards. We already know that under FISA, the court is secret. Since when have we had that? The court is secret, and the time limit they have after they serve the warrant to notify you they served it, it won't matter. I think they have something like 72 hours or something, if I remember correctly, to tell you, hey, by the way, yeah, we searched your house. Before, they had to come to you and say, excuse me, Dr. Ken, yeah, here's a warrant to search your house. They don't have to tell me if they use FISA. They just roll in, wait till I leave, break in, search my house, leave, file the warrant, and they don't have to notify me for X amount of days before, oh, by the way, yeah, we searched your house. What? You violated my civil rights. Well, actually, I didn't, because FISA and the Patriot Act, if we suspect you are, quote unquote, a threat to national security, possibly a terrorist, or you said something on social media, and now all of a sudden they're tracking you. We've given it away. We've told people, here it is. You can have it. Social media, you've given all of your privacy away. What would you do? Would you choose liberty or privacy? 833-212-1017 is the number. Andrew, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Liberty. So I'm thinking about just like liberty in general and how it's just being free from like restrictions. And I think we've already lost so much of our liberties and privacy. And I think liberty, hands down, is the answer to your question. But I'm just afraid that we're losing our liberties faster than people really can get a grasp on due to just the daily distractions.
Do you think we're losing it, or are we giving it away?
Yeah, I think it's yeah. Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, yeah, we're giving it away, but we're also getting it taken from us. Once it's gone, I mean, once it's gone, it's hard to get back.
Well, when we started this country, we had lost our liberty in England, and we came over here to get it back. Do you think it's going to take a revolution to get it back?
Yeah, I mean, in one way, yes. Yes, I think it's going to take just education and people to be informed. People are so distracted with day-to-day life that it's not being talked about. Well, on your show it is, thank gosh, but yeah, I think that's just a topic that really needs to be discussed more, and it's a very serious topic that people need to consider more and talk and discuss.
So how do we change it? How do we get our liberty back?
I don't know. You got to start in I don't know, Dr. Ken, I'm really not sure. You got to start in your family and your community and start with those discussions.
Well, remember, we tried to shut down TikTok and all hell broke loose and people were screaming and hollering and, oh my God, you can't do that. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if we'll get to that point.
I know. It's scary to think about. But we definitely need, I mean, liberty is, that's what our, founding fathers, that's what they strived for.
Right.
And I just don't know if we'll ever have that type of liberty back.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you much, Andrew. I appreciate it. Keep listening.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, he made a good point. And from the sound of it, he's fairly young, and he believes liberty is gone. I don't know if younger people under 30 or even 40 have seen the fight that it took to get us where we are. They just remember 9/11 and they want to be safe. So we give up something for safety. But if you give up your liberty, what's next? 833-212-1017 is the number. We've been talking about liberty versus privacy. Which one are we willing to give up? Because eventually, at the rate this country's going, we're going to lose both. You can hit us on the talk and text line or at YouTube at 101.7 The Truth. And you can always just let us know what you think. When we come back, you can dive into the YouTube chat, talk and text line, and your calls. And now with 101.7 The Truth traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Southbound 43, backing up a bit from just before Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. After that, you're good to go. Westbound 94's got backups from 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound, that's going to be a bit heavy from 84th Street all the way to 35th. It's going to be kind of that way for a while as people get used to this new traffic pattern since we don't have that right lane for pretty much the rest of the year after 35th Street to 25th. So just keep that in mind. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, a winter weather advisory from 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. Tonight, scattered showers and storms with a low of 34. Tomorrow, rain mix. Less than an inch of snow accumulation, mainly to the north and west, but a high of 34. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on 101.7 The Truth.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity and they ignore how hard the black person had to work and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then the black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 101.7 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkbylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This SportsCenter update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel. A year after the Green Bay Packers moved Elgton Jenkins from left guard to center, they decided to move on. The Packers announced Monday they've decided to release Jenkins, a move that will net the Packers more than $19.5 million in additional cap space for the season. Jenkins, 30, had 1 year remaining on a 4-year, $68 million extension that at the time made him one of the highest paid guards in the NFL. He made the Pro Bowl as left guard twice. Ryan Rawlings and the Milwaukee Bucks will take on Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, trying to bounce back from a loss on Sunday. Giannis Antetokounmpo is listed day-to-day after sitting out Sunday's game, a second game of a back-to-back. Tip-off tonight is at 7 p.m. The Big Ten tournament begins today with the first-round matchups. The Wisconsin Badgers, the 5 seed, are off till Thursday, they'll play the winner of USC and Washington. And the Big East tournament begins Wednesday as well, with Marquette and Xavier facing off at 5:30 p.m. This True Sports Update was brought to you by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone and I always feel like somebody's watching me and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream?
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. 833-212-1017 is the number. We've been talking about privacy and liberty and why y'all so comfortable with people watching you and comfortable with people looking at everything you do. And we talked about the FISA court, the FISA Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. We talked about, what was it? U.S. Patriot Act. Okay, I know, I remember. And so we have to really be aware of what exactly is going on. Talking text line, Dr. Ken, I don't have or go on any social media. This is from Todd. I use cash as much as possible. The Patriot Act was the beginning of the end of our privacy. YouTube chat. Let me see who's up in here. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Kwanda? She was first. Sincere, Ronnie Ray Real, SE, Melody. Melody said FISA coming back. FISA never left. Never left. She said big after 9/11 was also used as a political weapon. See, the cool thing about it, and I put cool in quotes, the cool thing about FISA, because we've been talking about liberty and privacy and all that, the cool thing about it is that I can say national security threat and people go, and then I can classify it and nobody can read it. Melody said, note to self, nothing over $9,999. She's saying that because the banks have to fill out a SAR, suspicious activity report, for when you have a $10,000 transaction or more. Well, to be honest with you, if you're within 10 or 15% of $10,000, they're still going to send it. Just so you know. If you have multiple transactions of $5,000 or $7,525, whatever it is, they're still going to send it. So just so you know. Just so you know. She says, should we be afraid to say or text revolution? Who knows? Who knows? But that's what we're coming to. That's what we're coming to. And that rule for white-collar crime, that's why they're catching so many people for white-collar crime, because they've relaxed it. So now banks are getting paranoid. So you can't do $999.99, because if you do, they're going to still send in a SAR. If you do $8,000, they'll probably send in a SAR. If they decide that you don't have enough income or have enough transactions and movement through your account, if you don't have enough cash flow, they're going to come get you. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm fine. What's up?
I'm back again.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to say you're talking my language.
Okay.
This is what I be trying to say. You know, because all this distraction and all of that stuff, and behind the whole scenario, all this machinery, equipment, and all this stuff they're trying to set up, it's already a lot of it set up anyways. To spy on, I call them, they want to spy on us. And I think it should be turned around. We should be spying on them. I always say that because I believe they're the ones, the biggest criminal in the world. The one that want to spy on us to look at everything we do.
But let's,
and they're the ones doing the most.
But let's keep it on us. Are you willing? Are you willing to give up? Which do you prefer, your liberty or your privacy?
I don't care about the privacy. I like my liberty.
Well,
what I do ain't no big. I'm not a crook anyway, so I ain't got no privacy.
So if you don't care, then you should be able to use all that technology and use social media and your phone and all that, and not really care about it.
Well, I still care. I care about that part of it because why do they want to watch us? Why do they have to know everything that we're doing?
Because some of y'all might be a terrorist. Some of y'all might be a terrorist.
No.
National
I don't
security.
believe that. I'm telling you,
it's national security. We're going to go to Sandra's house. Nope. We're going to go to Sandra's house and we're going to take Sandra. We're going to search Sandra's house because Sandra is now a security threat.
They'll see a pretty little dog.
As long as they have a warrant. See, part of the issue is you have to make them follow the rules just like you follow the rules. So if you have to follow
that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
But that's not what they do.
I know. That's why I said it. That's exactly why I said it. Because they're not going to follow the rules. They're going to make you the criminal. And I'm going to say one more thing. I think a lot of this comes behind them trying to divide and conquer. That's why you see, they always make black people seem like the criminal.
Them who?
Well, it's got to be the politics of our nation. It's always a divide between blacks and whites, Mexicans and all this, and that's why you got that big divide. And that's how they're going to reel us in, and that's how they're going to have a dictatorship system.
Okay.
I see it coming, and it's here.
All right. Well, thank you much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. We've been talking about liberty and privacy. Which do you prefer? Crystal said it's true in the YouTube chat. And by the way, you can always go to YouTube at 101.7 The Truth and check us out, watch live. Crystal said it's true. The Patriot Act was the beginning of the end. Russ Feingold knew. Russ wasn't the only one. I didn't hear you. Yep, Edward Snowden. Listen, the Patriot Act was the one thing that Democrats and Republicans said, don't do it. Figure out another way to surveil people or find people or do whatever you do.
And they still did it.
And they still did it. And they said it was temporary. And it hasn't gone away. Now that we have the war in Iran, they're going to ramp it up. They're going to say, hey, there are people, we got sleeper cells. They're going to find at least one person that's Iranian that actually did it. And I think we had it already. Some guy drove down and shot up a place in Texas, and they ended up killing him. And he had the, I love Iran. They had a shirt with the Iranian flag on it and all that. And, I love Allah and all that. Which is kind of weird because Allah is not a different God. If you speak Farsi or whatever the other language is there, Allah is the equivalent to God the Father. So when you're talking about God, depending on your language, right? All right. And we get weird in America. Oh my God, it's terrible. They're calling him Allah. Well, Christians in the Middle East call God the Father Allah. But I guess you can't name your son Jesus either because it's spelled like Jesus. Like at some point, now we're just looking for reasons and looking for things to nitpick. Meanwhile, we already don't have the liberty. We found that out in 2020 when COVID hit. That was the first one. That right there was the first one. When COVID hit, our liberty disappeared. Then they started eroding your privacy, taking away, oh, you didn't get the shot? You got to get the shot. Well, why? Why do I need to get the shot? So all those things are just piled on top of FISA and the Patriot Act. They were able to come in, shut down America, restrict your liberty. You can't walk outside. You can't go anywhere. You got to wear this. You got to do this. You got to do that. And we followed. Didn't think anything. And thank you, Mr. Mahdi. The language is Arabic. Allah in Arabic means God. So you have to have liberty to maintain privacy. And somewhere we forgot that. Somewhere we forgot that we're going to have to stand up like we did in the 60s because it's coming. I'm not calling it out. I'm not saying, hey, let's do this. But it's coming to a point where we're going to have to stand up for our liberty. That means you're going to have to get rid of people who are in office who do not follow what you believe they need to follow. Now, what we don't need to do is have people come in and then take over everything, because I don't like the left side of Democrats, just like I don't like the far right side of Republicans. The problem is both sides get rid of moderate people who are reasonable and believe this is how America should be. And while you're stuck looking at it's a totalitarian and blah, 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 we're losing our liberties. We're losing the ability to speak. Now they're going after people who said something. Look at what Donald Trump tried to do to the law firms. Some lawyer who worked as a lawyer who was supporting Letitia James. Well, he or she went to go work at a law firm, so instead of him going after the lawyer, he just goes after the law firm. And when people in the U.S. Justice Department said, no, we shouldn't be doing this, we're violating their rights, they got fired. Or they had to quit. It doesn't make any sense. And it's time for us to start to take a look. And if you have any comments, 833-212-1017 is the number. Talk and text line, or you can hit us on the YouTube chat. Just go to YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. Crystal said, I wonder how many people pronounce Jesus like Jesus in the Bible. Depends. If you speak Spanish, it's Jesus. If you don't speak Spanish, it's Jesus. She didn't say that. She wrote Jesus. Yahweh is Yahweh. But that's a whole other religious discussion. And how all this ties into religion. How all of this ties into the last days. How much all this ties in. It is getting so convoluted that people are just giving up. And what scares me about this generation, they're too lax. They don't recognize when their rights and their dignity is slowly being eroded. Coley, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. I would say look at the terms and disclosure every time you sign up for something.
You know,
it clearly states.
You know, if you read that, you would never sign up for it.
I mean, at most, it always says they're going to disclose, but they always say amongst their. Yeah,
they're a partners.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've seen it. I mean, me personally, you were talking about like the tax thing. I actually had flipped a house, and so I just deposited a large sum. Brother, everything changed. My mail changed. I went from a Chevy dealer to a Mercedes dealer. I went from approval for one house to two houses. You know, it is what it is.
And it's unfortunate that in order to get the things in life that we want, we have to give up so much. But we do it so freely. Why do you think we do it so
Nobody
freely?
reads that. I actually, and the reason I say this, I had signed a contract, and they had a terms and disclosure thing. Now, this was a bank. This was a lender.
Right.
And while I'm reading it, they clearly stated, we are going to share all this information with the,
Yeah.
And that time I actually looked at it, but I agreed to it. And this is what I'll tell you. As you move up in life, you will find that things are going to change.
Yes.
Where if you are, let me be clear about that. Say you're middle class. You're going to get a car offer. You're going to get a refinance offer.
Yep.
You're going to get a let me buy your house offer.
Yep.
And all that is shared through when you initially click on to the loan agreement.
Yep. You give away all your information, all of your financial information, your social security number, all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's good and bad, but I will also say, I've lucked out. I've seen lenders that maybe weren't available to other people or that suited my situation, and either I accept or I decline.
Right. But most people want to look like everybody else. Most people want to roll like everybody else. Most people want a house and a car like everybody else. So they sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare that people even read the terms of the disclosure.
Yep. Very
true. All right, brother. While I got your time, can I bring up another point? This is a 180.
You'll have to make it really fast.
Available for this?
You have to make it really fast.
All right, brother. I'm trying to buy a city property. Guess what I had to sign up for?
What?
The LLT something, the Landlord Training Program.
Correct.
Yeah. Brother, why is there, I'm sorry, don't let me get, why is there a quiz? Why is there a test you have to pass?
Well, because people have,
because you mean I can't buy this garbage without taking
Yes, because landlords before you have taken advantage of people so bad that now they force every landlord to go through it. Just like most tenants and most people who want to live somewhere, with tenant rights and all that, they want to make sure.
What level of stupidity is this? You mean I can't buy garbage without passing an exam?
Correct.
Bruh. Okay. All right. I mean, I would hope you would expound on that.
I will. When we come back, I will. I most definitely will.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. We've been talking about liberty and privacy and technology and whether or not you're willing to give up everything to Big Brother so that you can get what you want. Now, Coley brought up the landlord-tenant agreement that you have to go through the training and sign. Why is that? Well, in a minute.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, stand up for our rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission. College and beyond, MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finesse Antetokounmpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Dawn said, SAR is a different report. Well, whatever it is, cash transaction report, SAR, who cares? It's a suspicious activity report. Okay? But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Millicent said, excuse me, Dr. Ken, didn't you vote for Donald Trump? What are you talking about? Huh? Are you one of those MAGA people who you got to follow everything MAGA, and if you don't, you're like disenfranchised or something? What is that? See, here's the deal. I can agree with something with people I don't necessarily agree with. Like I can agree that something you did was good and still not like you or you overall. So I don't know what that means. Oh, that's the people say, you sound like a conservative. Yeah, anytime people talk about like not shooting people, not killing people, not taking advantage of people. Yeah, that sounds, yeah, okay. We've been talking about liberty and privacy and all sorts of things like technology that goes along with it. Yep, we're getting there. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. And Top 5 at 5 up next.
Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley? This is she. Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I travel all around the world, Dr. Ken, and when I tell you, based on my experiences,
This is like the number one country that cares. Like everything is about money. Yep. Everything.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I've told people in the past, you have to be careful of what you complain about and what you use as a tool because other people will take it and use it in the wrong way.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. For the last hour, we've been talking about liberty and privacy, and we talked to several people who agree, disagree. Talking text lines been kind of, people have been hollering at me. It's not a SAR. It's a cash transaction report. Government, suspicious activity. So I'll agree to agree and disagree at the same time. So, all right. And Millicent, I don't know what you're talking about, but you might have me confused with someone else. 833-212-10. Oh, where'd it go? 10. Wait a minute. Okay, there it is. 1017 is the number. Let me take a look before we go. I don't want to read this. Weather right now is 37 degrees, feels like 28. Winds are from the northeast at about 16 miles an hour. High today was 47, and tonight it's going to drop to 35. There's a severe storm advisory, snow and rain tonight and tomorrow. Not looking forward to it, Not really, but, nobody asked me. Hey, what's up, Kyle? I was complaining about something you said today. Kyle just walked in the studio.
I was talking about you coppers.
Yeah, you were. Oh, I wanted to remind you about that. And one of the things I wanted to tell you about that is that just because they paid, that doesn't mean the cops did something wrong.
Was a settlement?
Yes.
In this specific case, it seems to me, not sure about the shooting in the face. It seems like he lied about that. He falsely claimed that the person pointed the gun at him when he came into the house. That's why he shot the gun. It said falsely claimed based off the article. And then when it comes to the two detectives, they said unlawfully detained the woman, his wife. And so when I hear unlawfully and falsely, I mean, if you
that's
falsely
the allegation. That's the allegation.
No, that was what sounds like that was a determination from the investigation that they unlawfully did it. And so, I mean,
but they didn't break the law.
What the hell does unlawfully mean?
That doesn't necessarily mean you broke the law.
Help me. What does unlawfully mean? And then shooting somebody in the face talking about, oh, well, he pointed his gun at me. Well, then they found out that wasn't the truth. Well, that's a lie.
Right. So
that cost me and you money. So
I didn't say it didn't, and I'm not taking up for them. I'm saying that just because they paid.
It sounds like you are.
Why are you hollering at me?
I don't know. I'm something about being on this show.
Let me see. You took 3 years of hollering at me every day, so you got to make up for it. Yeah.
All right. I still love the police, though.
No, you don't.
No, I appreciate them.
You love the police about as much as you love not being a 220 boy.
Well, I love being 220 boy.
See?
What? So what?
See?
Who I'm gonna call if I get in trouble?
See?
I'm gonna call the police.
Handle it yourself.
No, hell no, not me. Not me.
Handle it yourself.
I'm calling 911, especially in this age. Oh, no, I'm calling 911 instantly. Hell, I look out my window. If I see something wrong, I call the police. I wave at the police. Hey.
Do you call and get your name, or do you call anonymously?
Well, I would probably call and get my name. Kyle Wallace calling again. Yeah, they acting a fool around here. I don't mind the police at this point.
Okay.
As long as they ain't harassing me.
He say that now. We'll see. We shall see.
Number 5.
Well, my black fact for today. Poet, novelist, and U.S. diplomat James Weldon Johnson is probably best known to millions as the author of the lyrics to what song? Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem. Johnson was also a civil rights activist and the executive secretary to the National Association for Colored People from 1920 to 1929. As such, Johnson spoke out on a variety of issues facing African Americans in the speech below. You can go to blackfacts.com and check it out for today. He gave it at a dinner of congressmen and future New York Mayor LaGuardia at the Hotel Pennsylvania in New York City on March 10th of 1923. That's what marks this day. Johnson outlines the importance of the vote for the nation's black citizens. And once again, it looks like, well, I mentioned it earlier and I was trying to avoid it, but it looks like once again, Mother Nature is still undefeated.
Number 4.
From CBS 58, hopefully you enjoyed the record-shattering warmth yesterday because temperatures are about to be about 30 degrees colder for the next few days with highs in the lower half of the 40s. This morning started out with some fog and drizzle, and there's a better chance for showers and a few rumbles of thunder tonight and overnight. The better storm chance overall will be in our southern counties, like us, south of I-94, where they're under a level 2 slight risk for strong storms. The rest of southeastern Wisconsin is a level 1 marginal risk, and better chance for severe storms, including, you ready? Tornadoes. They'll be in the southern part where parts of Illinois and Indiana are under level 3 enhanced risk. So, yeah. And right when you think that's done, well, some of the storms could linger into Wednesday morning. Any lingering precipitation into Wednesday would switch to a wintry mix, potentially causing slick roads and a very slick commute. Then snow for the rest of Wednesday. Slushy. 1/10 of an inch, mainly in the afternoon and evening. Up to 1 inch of snow is possible, mainly on grassy surfaces, but basically it's going to snow. Who do we blame for that? Who do we blame for it? Let's blame Kyle. He's not here. He's not here. And just like that, in other things, 263 positions are gone.
Number 3.
This also from CBS 58. Last night, Milwaukee School Board favored a vote for a budget plan that would cut 263 positions from the district. It is official. The vote came after loud and unified opposition to the plan, but Superintendent Brenda Casalius said the $46 million budget deficit has to be plugged somehow, and Casalius and the administration are trying to find those cuts in areas that will impact student learning the least. But assistant principal positions, interventionists are among those on the chopping block, and the educators who relying on them loudly spoke out last night. Casalius explained that with little new revenue coming in, the $46 million has to be cut. And the plan is to cut non-teaching support staff members. Those members are furious. Sarah Cruz, principal at La Escuela Fratney, she implored the administration to include principals in decisions about our schools. The majority of speakers last night were educators, many of them facing elimination. Elizabeth Kosmak is a special ed teacher at MPS and said Dr. Casalius is creating chaos from within, and it keeps going. All who spoke were in overwhelming opposition to Casalius' proposal to cut 263 non-teaching jobs, and the district says 45 of the positions are already vacant. 180 could transition into teaching roles. She explained, these decisions are tremendously difficult. I understand the gravity of that. Our decisions impact real people and their families. Several principals spoke out about the role of their assistant principals fills in academic student support and student safety. Metcalf School's principal, Melinda Gladney, said that when these positions disappear, the need they address do not disappear with them. Dr. Juan Baez, principal at Milwaukee School of Languages, said when the support is reduced, teacher stress increases, contributing to burnout and staff turnover. Some board members voiced concerns, like Supervisor Mimi Reza, who told Casalius, in regard to assistant principals, they are essential. They are the backbone of the principals. They can't both be backbones. Either the principal is needed or the assistant. Principal's going to have to step up and do extra work. I know it's terrible. It is. And while Casalius acknowledged their value, she said the district is overstaffed. This plan is hard, but it protects classrooms in keeping with the value we all agreed on. Mateo Dela Cruz is a student delegate on the board. When discussing the budget gap, he said there's no way they can be filled with no detriment to student experience. Keep living. It's not yet decided which assistant principals would be cut. Building principals have 2 weeks to continue working with budget analysts, and Casalius says she promised principals they would get what they need. I also said you may not get everything you want, but you will get what you need. But it was of little concern to most in the audience, like Stanley Shelton, the dean of schools of students at Morris Middle School. Shelton received raucous cheers when he referenced the audience while telling the school board, "There is no you without us." Anyway, over the next couple of weeks, the district will identify who will be cut. They will meet with affected staff, ask for any volunteers and retirements, and then reassign eligible staff to other open positions in the district. March 24th is when they plan to issue formal notices to who will be cut. That's how it goes. I mean, that's called life. Private business goes through that every day. People will lose their job, and to be honest with you, because you work in the public sector, work in a school, work for police, fire, whatever, the city, your job isn't sacrosanct. Like, it's not some holier than thou job that you get to keep because you're special. Is it unfortunate? Absolutely. But again, those are the times we live in. You're listening to Top 5 at 5.
Number 2.
Well, MCSO, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, they too changed their minds about facial recognition. For the first time, Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball is explaining her decision to abandon her plan to implement facial recognition technology after considering community opposition and concerns about its use. Ball initially proposed a contract with Biometrica, aiming to use the technology as an investigative tool to help identify suspects from surveillance images, comparing them with booking photos nationwide. She said, "We wanted to use it as an investigative tool. We know that it could jumpstart an investigation. It's not the end of the investigation. You still have to tie the person. Still have to tie in the person with the crime." She highlighted the technology's ability to quickly process millions of photos, which could be invaluable in identifying suspects. We could just put it in the database, and it could go through millions of photos in minutes. Despite Ball's confidence in the limited scope of technology, opposition grew as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, actions intensified across the city. The Milwaukee Turners, a social justice organization, led the opposition, highlighting concerns about racial bias and exploitation. And we talked about it earlier in the show when we talked about technology and liberty and privacy. This is part of what you would be giving up. And so we have to remember, AI in facial recognition does a demonstratedly horrible job at identifying Black and Asian people. So why exactly would you do that? Like, why exactly would you bother to allow facial recognition to come in and tell you who did something wrong?
Number 1.
Now to our big story this morning at 11 o'clock. Caught on camera, gunshots ring out on Milwaukee's north side on Monday night. The video captured by a neighbor's doorbell camera during a shooting that left 2 people dead. Wow. Okay, you hear that there. It sounds like fireworks there. Milwaukee police say somebody shot a 31-year-old and a 33-year-old near Green Tree and Darien just before 10:30 yesterday evening. Officers arrested a 27-year-old man in connection to the shooting at the scene. Now, it is still unclear what led up to the shooting at this point, and police are investigating that. Charges against the man in custody are now pending review by the DA's office.
So there you heard it. 2 people are dead following a shooting last night. Milwaukee Police Department said a 31-year-old and a 33-year-old were shot multiple times near Green Tree and Darien. That's around 10:30 last night. You heard the shots. Chantel Hendricks, a neighbor, said, "I heard the shots. I was in the house. I heard them, and I'm like, oh, wow, they sounded so close." I was shocked. The victims were pronounced dead on the scene, and a 27-year-old was arrested in connection with the incident. Fox 6 is where the story comes from. Fox 6 Now. I'll get it right. Fox6now.com spoke with the family of one of the victims. They have identified 31-year-old who died as Maya Tolbert. They say she was 7 months pregnant at the time. Family and friends identified the victims. Also, Giovanni McVicker, her boyfriend. Family members say the couple had 3 children, 2 of which they had together. Another baby was on the way. They said they will always be remembered, this is what family members say. They'll always be remembered, that's Tolbert and McVicker, as loving parents, kind, and genuine. One day of warmth. One day. One day in the 70s, shootings. Had another person got hit by a car, killed, 54th, and I think Lincoln. When's it going to end? Where's the fighting? Where's the screaming? Where's the protesting? Where's the nothing? And I find it funny that throughout all of the city, the only place you hear anybody, just like the promo we play to promote the truth, the only place you hear it is here. You don't hear anybody complaining. You don't hear anybody screaming about, hey, what's going on in the city? Why are people getting run over, shot, killed? Nothing. Zero. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's really unfortunate because the only place in Milwaukee, not your elected officials, not on a state level, not on a federal level, they'd rather fight with Trump than take care of what's going on in the state of Wisconsin. Not on a statewide level. They'd rather fight with Republicans and Democrats than to take care of what's going on. And not your city council or your county board of supervisors. They'd rather argue about the budget than to actually save somebody's life. It's unfortunate. 833-212-1017 is the number. Remember, you can stream and watch us live on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show like what's going on right now. You can also download the 1017 The Truth app in the App Store or Google Store, and anytime you can just go back and listen and watch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. When we come back, the Iranian war. We talked about the Patriot Act, but I want to give you a specific way I think it's going to be used. Talk and text line, YouTube chat, and you.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
Been listening to you guys for probably a month. It's some change now, and this is one of my favorite radio shows. And I'm 24, so I used to think talk shows was like an old head thing, and y'all got me hooked.
Welcome to Truth Nation. We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, stand up for our rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. Look out. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. The war in Iran. We've been talking about liberty and privacy and how all that's going to tie into the war that's going on with all the things. And then Kyle came in and hollered at me and screamed at me about the police and all that stuff. I'll mess with him later. But one of the things we have to remember is when you go back and you look at the Patriot Act, they used it to say they want to prevent and investigate terrorism. Now, what's to stop them from using technology that a tech company right now, when other tech companies refuse to allow their technology to be used to kill or to calculate what needs to be done to kill people in the war, they got boxed out. So Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, wanted to use AI, but he wanted the parameters removed. So they have parameters on AA now. You know, some kids has turned and talked people into killing themselves and doing all kind of terrible things like that, right? So they've put guardrails on technology, specifically AI. I always have trouble with the word specifically, but anyway. So they have trouble with that. So he wanted them removing it. He said, remove the safeguards. So when we tell it, I need you to find this person, look at this, find it. When you put it together, fire a missile and kill them. But only one company stepped up and said, yeah, we'll do it. Because places like ChatGPT and a couple other places were like, no, we're working towards having ethical AI. That's not ethical. There's nothing about war that's ethical. And somebody said, well, why not? I said, because you're killing people. Hey, we're going to invade your house. We're going to have a dance with you. No, they're not going to come dance. They're going to blow you up. And so I think part of the argument will be, well, we already accidentally bombed, and I think Israel did it, bombed a school and killed 160 people, a girls' school. Oops. But if we had AI guiding us, then we could tell it that it, and at some point you'll connect it to satellites, you'll connect it to drones, and next thing you know, it'll be killing people indiscriminately. To prevent and investigate terrorism, they're going to use everything in their power, including technology, to find you. You have already given it all away on your phone. You've already given it all away by your phone, pinging to all of the stationary Wi-Fis that are around the city. It's not by accident. If you have Wi-Fi at your house, they assign an address to it, and when you drive past it, it'll tell your phone and the system where it is, where it's located, and they can tell how fast you're moving, how fast you're walking, where you are. The law expanded the power of intelligence and law enforcement to conduct surveillance, share information, track financial transactions, monitor communication for anybody suspected of being connected to, not committing, connected to, not a suspect, connected to terrorism or national security threats. And that means nothing you have is safe. Not your smart TV, not your debit card, not your credit card, not your phone, not your Wi-Fi. Nothing. There's nothing to stop someone from going in and taking away your liberty by simply diminishing your privacy. And I think that when your privacy is diminished, so is your liberty. Your thoughts, 833-212-1017 is the number. I think that we are at a precipice, that they're going to use the Iranian war to increase technology at every single level of America. And the only privilege you have right now is money. And what they're going to do is they're going to quietly lock you in. They're going to hey, we'll help you. Here's what we'll do. We'll do this. It'll help you. Come on. Because, you know, the folks that are upper middle class and middle class and upper class, they're not falling for the okie doke. They're not falling. No. I got too much and I watch too much and I know too much. I'm not doing it. So what they're going to do is they're going to start going after those people who really don't have an understanding or think that these things like technology is going to help them. You know how I know? Because when we come back, we're going to look at what Cory Booker's idea is. And I'm going to tie it in to privacy, to liberty, and technology. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Comments, questions, 833-212-1017 is the number. You can hit us on the talk and text line, or you can go to the YouTube chat. As always, you can stream and watch us live on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can never, ever miss a show. And now with the final traffic check of the day on 1017 The Truth, here's Debbie Lazica.
Southbound on 43, just backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette interchange, pretty much all the way down past the KK River crossing, so keep that in mind. The northbound side's a little heavy just before Fond du Lac Avenue up past North. Westbound 94, we've got delays from before 27th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound, that's got some backups from 84th Street, and it doesn't really let up till you get past 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, scattered showers and storms, a low of 34. Tomorrow, rain to mix of snow, less than an inch of snow accumulation, mainly to the north and west, with a high of 34. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
This Sports Center update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel. A year after the Green Bay Packers moved Elgton Jenkins from left guard to center, they decided to move on. The Packers announced Monday they've decided to release Jenkins, a move that will net the Packers more than $19.5 million in additional cap space for the season. Jenkins, 30, had 1 year remaining on a 4-year, $68 million extension that at the time made him one of the highest paid guards in the NFL. He made the Pro Bowl as left guard twice. Ryan Rawlings and the Milwaukee Bucks will take on Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, trying to bounce back from a loss on Sunday. Giannis Antetokounmpo is listed day-to-day after sitting out Sunday's game, a second game of a back-to-back. Tip-off tonight is at 7 p.m. The Big Ten tournament begins today with the first-round matchups. The Wisconsin Badgers, the 5 seed, are off till Thursday. They'll play the winner of USC and Washington. And the Big East tournament begins Wednesday as well, with Marquette and Xavier facing off at 5:30 p.m. This True Sports Update was brought to you by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Before the break, we were talking about Anthropic and all that stuff that was going on, and a friend of mine sent me a text. I did say, if I remember, but clearly I didn't. I got it completely bass-ackwards, if you can read into that. They said, incorrect. Anthropic only had 2 conditions. One was not to use it for war actions without human intervention. Hexeth tried to override them. They declined. Now they are suing. Anthropic, it was the only company to decline. Not ChatGPT. What do you mean decline? So they're using ChatGPT. Okay, got it. Because I think you reversed it. Yes, I did. And I think I reversed it because I remember, I was reading on Reddit, they said, hey, use this AI because don't use ChatGPT because they're working with the government. I don't know if that's a reason not to use ChatGPT, but there still needs to be safeguards. Somebody needs to tell the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to go kick rocks, because that just makes no sense. You have to have human intervention. You have to. I mean, can you imagine? It would be the equivalent of them sending Skynet, you know? Remember all the stuff, oh, that could never happen? That's the TV show. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And now we're here. I was just looking at TV. It was on ABC News. Now, U.S. wounded 140 as airstrikes intensify. 140 people, U.S. soldiers wounded from bombing the bases, right? People are looking at this as the precipice of World War III. That eventually World War III is going to happen. Privacy, liberty, technology. 833-212-1017 is the number. Todd, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Calling from Watertown.
Well, hello, Dr. Ken. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate your radio show. Actually, I stumbled on you yesterday, and now I'm going to be a long-term listener.
Thank you.
And you're welcome, sir. I just have this conversation really struck a chord with myself. I had a friend who has been gone for about 15 years now. He's a little bit. I'm 60. I'll be 61, and he came out of Vietnam right at the end. He got in at the tail end, and he was in communications, and he stuck with it. He did his 20 years, and actually he had elevated himself up to Air Force One, where he was a communication director under Jimmy Carter. So this is how far, the government's technology, I'm sure you're well aware of this, in our airplanes and this stuff is so far advanced of things that we know of, that we're privy to that knowledge. It takes a long time before we're privy to it. But at any rate, back in the, this goes back to 76 to 80 under Jimmy Carter. And he came out of that. And he knew, it was definitely pre-internet for the public, but probably around a little bit before, around 2000, before the 9/11, the internet was there, and he knew how to. All the people with, your topic is about privacy. And people, I don't think they really understand that, like their Alexa and their smart houses, all that stuff is hackable.
Right.
And I had seen how it was done. He would tell me, he's like, Todd, he said, it's up in the air. All you have to do is reach up and grab it. And, and now this is a while back, and I'm sure they're way smarter now, but he could go up and pull things down, boom, 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 and have information. He could get in Home Depot, Walmart. The guy was a genius at that time, and I'm sure it's far exceeded that now. But I wish people would really realize, like you had said, Dr. Ken, with Facebook and all the other things, people don't realize that when they do that, their information, and information is king. I've always believed that, no matter if it's the guy on the street corner or if it's a president of the United States, information is king. And people don't realize that how much information they give away on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually sad. And with the Patriot Act, that was the beginning of our end of our privacy. And kind of a weird thing not a weird thing, but Russ Feingold was the only senator that voted against that.
Correct.
In the whole Senate, he was the only man that voted against that, and he was from Wisconsin. I'm sure you're well aware of that.
Yeah, very true. And I find it interesting. First of all, thank you for the call, Todd, and keep listening from Watertown. I think one of the things that Todd brought up was the fact that we don't understand what it is we're giving up. We just freely give it up. And so now we're starting to push back, and it's too late. They literally have all your information. I don't know if we cut it off. We're just too tied to cell phones, apps on our phone. And every now and then, I'll go through my apps and look at them and go, why do I have this app? Let me delete this. And delete it. But here's the kicker. You've already logged in. You might have used your Gmail to log in, and so now that app is reading all of your Gmail because now it has access. I mean, Gmail's already reading all your email, and now they have it. So at what point do you go into, now I'm anal retentive, I admit it, ADHD, obsessive compulsive. I will go through my email and unsubscribe because a lot of things that they send you automatically subscribes you to it. And you didn't know that. But if you look in the left and in your Gmail, click more, you can see all the things. You can see the area where it says subscriptions, and it'll show all the things that your email are subscribed to. And you can either email them directly, log in and get it removed, or just click remove, and what it'll do is block it. It's just one thing. You've got how many apps on your phone? This war is going to bring out the worst in people. This war is going to allow the federal government, regardless of who's in office, Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, doesn't matter, to come in and say, for the safety of the country, we need to know where you are. Next thing you know, they'll be putting a chip in your head, chip on your hand. I'm so excited in the coming weeks to be talking about AI on a granular level of the things that they can do to curtail your liberty, to curtail your rights, to literally be able to come in and tell you where you can and cannot spend your money, what you can and cannot buy. See, before we go to break, we were talking about SNAP, right? What is it? Supplemental nutrition, whatever, you know, money from the government to eat, right? We got SNAP benefits. Well, SNAP is on a card. And if they put a chip in that card and then give it to you, they can tell you this card won't buy that food. You already scan it. They already track everything you buy in the store anyway. It's rung up electronically. It has a label on it and a code. So at some point, they already know what you're eating. Now they're going to be able to tell you what you can't buy. And so if they really, really, really wanted to use technology, and he was right, the technology they have now, anything you have in technology today, drones, internet, all this stuff, software, this stuff is 20, 25 years old. They just unclassified it and let everybody else play with it. The internet's been around since the 40s and 50s, and now all of a sudden we got the internet. Oh my God, they invented it. No, they didn't. We already had it. They put a shell on it, called it the World Wide Web, and now we think we got something, but we don't. And we're at that point now where if you have SNAP, they'll just tell the card you can't buy any of these things. Every time you use the card, you can only spend this much money. Oh, and by the way, these are the stores that we've identified that you can go to. And if you don't go to these stores, you can't do it. So we took the long way around to say what? Black Enterprise Magazine has a story from Cory Booker proposing scrapping federal tax on the first $75,000 of income. What does that look like? Well, I'll get to it quickly before we go to break. New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker has introduced a new proposal aimed at easing the tax burden on Americans by eliminating federal income tax on the first $75,000 of a taxpayer's income. Now, it's $75,000 of a taxpayer's income who are married and file jointly. Keep Your Pay Act proposed they would expand pivotal tax credits for working families by increasing the standard deduction to $75,000 for married couples who file jointly, in addition to substantial relief for single filers and heads of household. Booker's plan is projected to reduce federal income tax on the median American family. You ready? by roughly 85%. Who's supposed to make that up? So this is the big idea he wants to share with America. He wants us to keep our money. He says the tax system, as we all know, is rigged. It's rigged against working people and all full of things that help people with a lot of money, whether it's corporations or billionaires avoid paying taxes. It's what happens because the corruption down in Washington that lets the wealthiest and the most powerful write our tax code. Well, Democrats wrote that tax code just like Republicans wrote that tax code because all of them take advantage of it. Story goes on to say not only would the legislation offset costs to the fullest extent by generating more tax revenue from corporations and the wealthy, which is never going to happen, it would also include a plan to increase the corporate tax rate, tax on stock buybacks, and zoning in on executive compensation deductions and strengthening corporate tax enforcement. By launching an online calculator that would allow taxpayers to get an estimate on their potential savings with the bill, the proposal leans on expanding the child tax credit to $3,600 per child between ages 6 and 17, $4,320 for children under 6, with a baby bonus worth $2,400 in the year of the child's birth. The credit would be fully refundable. What's the problem with all this? It's going to cause a class war, for one. But what's the problem with all this? There's not enough money in America to pay the difference. There's not enough money with all the billionaires and trillionaires. I think we got like one or two. And billionaires and trillionaires and all that, and upper middle class to pay the difference to keep government going. So unless you're going to cut government along with giving this tax break, it's not going to work. It will not work. I think it'd be great. I think it would be great. The problem is, how many families in America make together under $75,000? It's about 41% of the families, if I remember. About 41% of the families in America that are black make that. It might be even less. I have to go back and double check my numbers. I've been wrong today already. But at some point, we have to take into account, what are we missing? So I'll be following this story and looking at it in the coming weeks, along with the technology, along with the liberty, along with the privacy, and all those things that are going to affect us. Because we have elections coming up in the next couple of months, and it will be critical. Because if you think rich people are going to pay taxes to offset an 85% tax deduction, sounds like somebody's trying to run for re-election.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
Now that's powerful.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire.
you might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. My love for animals began when I was 5 years old. That sparked a lifelong commitment to speak up for animals who can't speak for themselves. Elvis and I supported American Humane Society because your compassion can change a life. American Humane Society strengthens the bond between humans and animals. Please visit AmericanHumane.org to learn more. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate everything you did today. Our topic. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking to Zach. I'm looking at a thing. New scrutiny on media consolidation in America. Paramount bought CNN, and they're a Trump ally. That ought to be interesting. So we've been talking about privacy. We've been what happened to the? Oh, okay. I'm like, did I miss something? Am I going out just fading away? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next. I want to say thank you, Zach. I think he's trying to get rid of me because he's trying to leave. So I think I'll do that too. Hey, God bless. Take care. Thank you. Thanks for the correction. I appreciate it. As always, when I'm wrong, and I stand corrected. Hey, God bless. Take care. Thanks to all you on the YouTube chat. Talking text line. Love y'all. Take care. Deuces. I'm out.
Be quiet.